Imagine if the entire video was shot with this camera. Imagine if the entire video was shot with this camera. You really have to let me know down in the comment section if you've ever experienced one of these things, and if you're one of the kids back in 2014 that might have gotten one of these things for the holidays. You know, there was a kid somewhere that might have gotten this for Christmas or on the car ride home that thought, with this, I'm gonna become a YouTube superstar. Yes, day 8 of TAGBAXMAS, the month of Tag Back, where we take a look at a blaster from the past, see what it could offer us today in the present, and this time! It's the 2014 NERF ELITE CAM ECS-12, which was one of the first big, expensive dookies from Hasbro that we got in the NERF line. This thing was $75 when it came out. 75 bucks for a rapid strike with a camera and stuff built into it. That's not too bad, except for it's not even a rapid strike. This is a Stryfe with a camera and a screen built into it and a couple of buttons. Yeah, Hasbro had no respect for you back then either. That's not to say that this is inherently a bad idea. The concept of the CAM ECS is actually pretty solid, and it's something I honestly wish NERF would revisit. They kind of did with the Terra Scout, but not the same thing. I want this reborn as a pretty decent blaster at a pretty decent price point. Then again, they also did kind of try to revisit this with things like the Battle Scout, which had a NERF rail mountable camera that was barely any better than what this thing was. The first thing you might notice though is that the shell of the CAM ECS is remarkably cool looking. It's also extremely comfortable. This is one of the best shells that Hasbro has ever made. The stock could use another couple of inches to be truly satisfying to use, but this little foregrip area right here, the main grip, mag release, which you can use with either just one finger or kind of pull down like that, jam clearing door on one side, muzzle, couple of tactical rails, no end strike muzzle attachment unfortunately, but most of the things you'd kind of want from a blaster like this with the addition of the cool screen and controls right here. Simply hold this orange button in. A little bit later, it makes some sounds and turns on. It actually has a crosshair on it, and it's trying to tell you that you can aim with this, which mine's not even aligned properly. The camera or the barrel is slightly off-centered, which I could fix, but that would require actual effort, and we're talking about the CAM ECS-12 here. And this is one of the worst cameras I have ever seen. That's not even joking. When this thing came out, the $20 flip phones that I sold at work were vastly superior, 10 to 100 times better than what this thing is. And yet NERF wanted $75 for this. Keep in mind, the Stryfe was like 20 to 25 most of the time. So this was just way too expensive. It does have picture taking or video recording modes. You can actually even go through the stuff that you have on the SD card on the screen itself. You can delete old videos, and it even gives you a total time of how long you have to record based on the SD card in the blaster. The SD card plugs in right up here. It's one of those clicky in and out kind of things. And the actual record button is located on the left side of the foregrip. So when you're ready to record those sweet NERF moments in like a 360p at 20 frames per second or whatever it is, you just hold down that button a little bit and it has an auto shut off. And apparently it's like a minute long. Other than that, the blaster works pretty much how you expect it to. You load the included 12 dart mag. This is a 10 dart mag that looks cooler. Inside of the magazine well, hold down the rev button. The motors will spin up. This is the stock Stryfe powered by 4 AA batteries. It actually takes 8 AA batteries, 4 on one side, 4 on the other, which means these things are separate circuits, which also means you could LiPo this thing if you wanted to and still keep the camera stuff safe. And then you pull the trigger for semi-automatic fire. Yeah, that's a stock flywheeler circa 2014, all right. Yeah, I can't imagine the sheer disappointment of the kids who actually wanted this thing more than anything else and then saw the kind of footage you would get out of it. I'm sure there's a kid out there who tried to start an entire YouTube channel just based off of one of these things. And this is all horrible because this shell design is one of the best NERF ever did. It feels really good to use. It looks really cool, and it was something entirely different. And that screen with a little crosshair on it, that has some tactical advantages by poking out over cover and not revealing your body, but being able to see people approaching you at a delayed response, but you could still technically use that to hit somebody, and recording could be a really cool feature. It's just Nerf did the laziest thing possible to maximize their profit as much as they could. It's a Stryfe. You're getting 60 to 70 FPS on a good day with a stock cage. But because it's the flywheeler, there is an upgrade path available, because of course you could hook this thing up to like a lipo with a new cage and make it hit 200 FPS from something like band blasters, and maybe even cram full auto in this thing. The shell is big enough, and most of the internals for the camera are located above the actual blaster. The design is really sweet, and the camera thing just makes you wish they would have did more with it, and that's kind of my problem with Hasbro at the moment. I mean, you made the Cam ECS, you made the Chrono Barrel, you made the Infamous, you made the Regulator. Take all these things, make them semi-decent, and put them into a $100 blaster, and people would be pretty okay to pay that for something that has usable features and does all the things. But they refuse, so your dream of having a chronographing, ammo counting, select fire, auto loading, full auto monstrosity of a flywheeler in the Nerf category is sadly left in the ditch to die. I mean, I got this one from Clowny Nerf. He actually sent it to me quite some time ago, and I've been trying to get another one for a reasonable price to collect and put on the wall behind me, because I really like what this blaster was trying to do. You really have to let me know down in the comment section if you've ever experienced one of these things, and if you're one of the kids back in 2014 that might have gotten one of these things for the holidays. If you don't have one of these things, you're not exactly missing out, because after all, it's just a Stryfe with a crappy camera put in it, and you could have done better for yourself back in the day without maybe some of the cool little features like the button being located right on the foregrip. But for everything else, yeah, you could do better for far less. But it's undeniable that this shell is very comfortable, and that's kind of the reason why people still like it and people still want to modify them today. Ripping out the camera internals and stuffing in an ammo counter is something that's already been done in the past, so the Cam ECS does have a little bit to offer you today in the present, but as a stock blaster, just don't even bother. And of course, this wouldn't be the only high-profile, expensive blaster released by Hasbro with a camera that didn't really exactly do all that well on the market. I love you, Cam ECS, but I know why people don't like you. But that's all I've got for you. I'm Walcom S7. Thank you very much for watching this video. Chances are, if you got to the end, you like what I do here, so please hit like, hit subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment, do all that algorithmic garbage to help this channel grow, so you can help our hobby grow. And of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different video. This was day 8 of TAGBAXMAS. The playlist is located in a thing in the top right corner. There will be more videos tomorrow, and there were more videos before this one. Thank you for joining me.